Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
The biggest names in sports are all on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
All right, back here on the Andy and Ari Show. Our next guest can be heard as he's a host of MTV's Bully Beatdown. Let's take a listen at some of his work.
Healing them.
You're healing them?
Yep. They're weak. They're I'm making them real men.
So you put them on like weightlifting regimen or?
No, I bash their faces in.
Oh. I guess there's no way I could talk you out of it.
No way.
Well, I'll see you there. Let's bring out the bully.
This bully gives Delusional a whole new meaning. He is the unofficial king of Fresno, Andy.
All right, tough guy. Let's bring out your fighter.
His opponent has fought around the world. He has a record with over 30 victories in the cage. Fighting out of parts unknown, Gershman
Andy, out of all the douchebags, how does it feel to be the biggest one that I have to take on myself?
All right, and the man who beat up that douche in the ring, Jason Miller. Jason, are you there?
What's up, bro? Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, man, great to have you on. Great show. I've been telling my friends about it, and it's a lot of fun. And first question is, where did the idea come from? Who was this genius idea to have the show on MTV?
Well, actually, Bully Beatdown was kind of an idea floating around Hollywood for a little while, and a guy over at Mark Burnett, the production company that makes Bully Beatdown, named Eric Van Wagenen, really bright guy, really smart, funny guy who produced like The Contender and a lot of more serious shows. He had this idea for the show, but they didn't have a fighter who could, fight and be funny. So, out of nowhere, someone found me on YouTube. He saw YouTube videos of me saying ridiculous things, and all of a sudden, I am the MTV show host.
Yes.
And, that's how the whole thing went down. I mean, it's a great concept, and I think with all the people working hard on the show, it's like well executed.
Yeah, I mean, some of those M.M.A. fighters, no offense to them, but they don't have the best personalities in the world, but obviously you got a bright personality, so they picked you as host. And, of course, some of the questions about the show, one thing I really like about the show, it seems like all the bullies in general do this word in Hebrew called teshuvah. It's like they repent. They feel bad for being a bully after they get their ass kicked. Has there ever been a show where a bully didn't feel bad and he's still stuck being a bully?
Well, I mean, I think there's, some guys you just can't teach, Some guys just can't learn. But it's really hard for them to stand there afterwards and say, that they haven't grown from the experience. Because once you get beat up, and once you've got that experience of getting beat up, and now you've been the victim, now you've been bullied, then it's hard to go back to your old bullying ways.
Absolutely, and some of the other questions I wanted to ask, we have heard of a bully that made it through. Of course, the way the show, of course, works, the bully can win $10,000 if he makes it through both rounds. So we heard of that. I heard a rumor, correct me if I'm wrong, that a bully knocked down one of the fighters. Is that true?
Yeah, man, that was season 2, man. We had a bully, a really tough fighter, a tough bully. He was like, I guess the fighter was kind of not taking the guy seriously and kind of laughing at the fact that the guy was in there, and the guy just came straight out and hit him with the right hand and dropped him right on his butt. But if you watch the episode, man, the thing that happened next was crazy. The MMA fighter just gave him a head kick, and I think almost kicked his headgear into the second row. So it was quite an eventful Bully Beatdown episode, let me tell you.
Nice.
Jason, Andy Gershman here. Thanks for being on Israel Sports Radio. Question for you is, I mean, does it make you be picked on more to have to call a show like Bully Beatdown to your rescue? Or, I mean, it takes a bit of a man, I guess, to call someone and say, I need help.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I think that I think the whole point of the show is to showcase the bully, showcase the victim, showcase that this is going on, and then let them get beat up so we can all crack up.
Right. Now, what do you say to the critics? Because I was reading some stuff about the show that say, oh, this is completely staged, it's all casted. I mean, I'm sure you've heard that before.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you know, that we put out casting. How else are we going to put people on the show? You know what I mean?
Right.
So we have to have victims. We have to have victims right into us. We have to have guys come in, and I mean, of course, some of the guys are going to want to act, you know, more tough than they actually are. I mean, that's,
right.
I think that the whole point of them coming on the show is so they could show how much of badasses they are. Well, of course, they get beat up and we laugh, but you know, I feel like that's what they want anyway. They want to go out there and show how tough they really are. And every once in a while, you know, you get a bully make all the money, or you get a bully knock down the fighter. You know, I mean, that's part of the show.
Right. Now, are you surprised? Because, I mean, here we are, you know, 6,000 miles away, and people here are talking about the show. Are you surprised with the popularity of the show?
No, I mean, I'm not really surprised, only because I know that I worked really hard at the show. Like, you know, despite it just looking like I'm goofing off and whatnot, I've worked pretty hard in the show to make it funny and make it successful, and the people work so hard on the show, the rest of the crew, everybody to make that show work, that it makes perfect sense that it's very successful. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, everybody worked so hard on the project that it I don't think it has a choice but to come out good.
And of course, you mentioned this in the episode where you beat up the bully. You said that you yourself dealt with bullies your whole life, and then you got into mixed martial arts. So talk a little bit about your personal background.
Yeah, well, you know, I grew up in poor neighborhoods, and, you know, it's pretty much like, especially when you're moving from place to place, you're the new kid, so it's time to get picked on, you know. So it hits close to home for me doing the show that it revolves around this whole bullying thing, because, you know, that was such a large part of my life as a kid. And I don't know, it's cool to, like, be sending this strange message and be, like, you know, kind of putting bullying out in the forefront where you know, people can really take a look at it. I'm happy to be doing that because, you know, my time growing up.
Absolutely. And, you know, on a lighter side, one of the funnier episodes I saw, and it was kind of a weird situation. I think I caught myself being a little bit of a bully, but one of the people being picked on talked about he got a wedgie to the point that he had to have surgery on his rear end. And, of course, now at the end of the show, you gave the bully a wedgie. So was that legitimate, that the kid really needed surgery?
Well, yeah. I don't think he's going to go on TV and tell about his butthole getting ripped unless it really happened. So, yeah. Are you asking if I checked his one eye personally? Because I did not give him a Brazilian handshake and lick his butthole personally. But you know, it seemed legit to me. He seemed legitimately hurt around the rectal region.
I mean, I was watching the show with a friend of mine. I laughed for about 5 minutes straight when he went to the fighter. He said, "Yeah, he ripped my ass." And the bully said, "Oh yeah? Well, I'm gonna rip his ass."
All right. I mean, I guess if you're gonna make something up about yourself, that's not gonna be what you're gonna pick, actually.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. I don't think you're going to make up that you would rip your butthole.
Right.
That's definitely going to affect that job application in the future, I'm sure.
Now, are you still fighting? You're still, you know, fighting outside of the show, correct?
Because we've heard that there's some talks. Dana White wants you to go with him at UFC.
Yeah, I mean that'd be cool. But right now I'm contracted with Strikeforce. I fight for them, and you know I'm pretty happy in my situation, so I got I have fights left for them. I'll be fighting on C.B.S. this year, and I'll be doing fighting for them, and I also fight Japan from time to time. So but the whole UFC thing that's cool. You know, I know that Dana White's job is to look at fighters, and he understands that I'm one of the top talents in the world, so for him to say that he wants me over there, that's a big deal.
And have you found that, with your fighting career, because there's a lot of MMA guys out there that aren't necessarily known until, like, they have something in the ring, and you're more known. I mean, you're known in the ring, but you're more known probably with the show outside of the ring. So have you found that you've gotten a bigger...
Well, no, it worked out well because I have this wacky personality. I just can't help, that's just who I am.
Right.
And I've always marketed myself well, but then, once this opportunity for me to come up with Bully Beatdown and kind of, it really introduced America to me, not MMA fans who I already, I had quite a bit of notoriety amongst MMA fans. Everybody knew who I was, even though I didn't fight in the UFC the entire time. I was one of those rare guys that the MMA fans knew who I was. But once I got on M.T.V, now people who don't watch MMA, people, they just know, hey, you're the Bully Beatdown guy. Yes, I am. I'm fighting. I'm fighting here soon. Watch the fight. So it's brought a new level of exposure to me, undoubtedly.
And getting technically, as far as when you do go in the ring yourself, obviously not when you're fighting a bully, but real mixed martial arts. What generally is your style? Like to go to the ground, like do a stand-up fight, or what do you prefer to do?
Yeah, I'm like a non-stop fighter. Like, let's just fight. Like, I could go on the ground, go stand up, and I just I like being on the ground, but I like kickboxing. So I'm just kind of like non-stop fighter. Like, wherever we're gonna go, let's go.
And do you have anybody in mind that you want to take on when you get to the UFC? I know Rich Franklin is doing very well right now. You have sights on him?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I just want to fight all the guys. Like, I just think it's awesome to be doing what I'm doing and be able to fight and be able to have fun making a living doing something that I love to do anyway. So for me, something in the UFC, whatever, I'll fight whoever they stick in front of me. It'll be a good time.
All right, and Jason, before we let you go, give a plug to your show. It is on M.T.V, and we know, also, by the way, in addition to the season finale, it was your birthday a few days ago, so happy belated birthday on that. And so the season wrapped up. When does the next season start, and what time can people catch that on?
Oh, you know what? Honestly, I said the season's over, but it's not. Like, they have more shows than we already recorded. They're great shows. And,
okay.
And I think they're going to continue on Thursday at 10:30 because they had told me before that they're going to stop running them until the new year, and then we start doing them again. But out of nowhere, I just saw a promo for next week. I'm like, oh, well, thanks for telling me, M.T.V. Like, I didn't even know. I would have been talking.
It's like those players that found out they got traded by watching TV or something. They're like, hey, I'm getting on TV. Nice. All right, so Thursdays, 10:30, M.T.V. People should check that out. It's a great show. And, Jason, we want to thank you so much for being on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
And thank you guys. I appreciate it.